what is yield means actually? Why we require this? I'm writing a function, say define show is a function, and suppose this is string 1 which is this first string value. There was some value I'm giving first string, return str1. Suppose the same thing I'm doing. This is str2. Third string. Now if I have this show function called and some x equals to show, print x I'm saying. What will be the output?
It will give a string 3. No.
Py space it's only printing the first string, right?
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
I thought it would be the last one. Okay.
Because the return in the sense it will return the first here itself, and after that it won't go again, right?
Yeah, okay.
Now what I'm trying to do, instead of return, I'll just say yield. So yield as a particular function known as next. If suppose I print the same thing again, I'm just getting the address. There's a address. So instead of address, I want the value. What I can just do next. What I got first string. Suppose if I call print of next again. Second string. Print of next again. What I got?
Third string, okay.
Third string. Okay, so 3 strings we got it separately, you can say.
So if I have one more next, what will happen? Will it give error?
Print nothing.
Okay.
Say print of next x. Is there any value in the next position?
No. Okay, error. Stop iteration.
There is no value, right? So stop iteration is the error. And the result yield concept means if you want to have multiple values returned from a function, step by step, not at a time. There is a difference here. Returning string 1, string 2, string 3 is different. Returning 3 separate steps, it's different, right? Can I return, say,
Then we have multiple return also available in can do this.
We can do like this in Python, right?
Yes. You
Yes.
can remove the last next.
So here the thing is, if you want to have step-by-step return, then yield is better because yield will store all the values and we can have next to retrieve the values one by one, right? Next, after this, iter tools. Like yield, we have iter tools. There is a module known as iter tools. So I in iter tools dot count. What I'm saying, count 10 comma 5. And here, if I double equals to 50, or before this, I'll just explain one thing. Say for I in range 1 to 10, 1 to 11, what will be the output if I print I?
1 to 10.
1 to 10, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now I'll just give a condition. If I double equals to 5, what will be the output? If I have break inside that. What does break do?
Break will basically stop the code.
Yeah. Then so 1
It
to
will come
4.
out of the block in the sense 1 to 4, right?
Yeah.
5 will not be getting printed. Next, apart from 5, if I take continue, now what will be printed?
Then it will 1 to 10.
Here, continue is a keyword which executes the entire program. Just when this keyword is getting executed, the remaining part of the program is skipped.
Okay.
Only when this keyword is executed, the remaining part of the program is skipped and it will again go to the loop and it will continue with the program.
Okay. So 1 to 4, 1 to 4, 1 to 4 all the time, right?
No. 1 to 4 in the sense, if 1, 2, 3, 4, at the 5 it will continue, right?
Mm-hmm.
5 will not be printed. Then it will be 6. So it will be printing 6, right?
Okay.
7, 8, 9, 10. So you have to understand, we print 1 to 10 except 5. 4 is there and 6 came, right?
Okay, so basically it's just keeping the print one time and then.
That's what. Skipping, and if I have written print, it will print, skip the print. Continue in the sense the remaining half will be there, right? In the loop,
Yeah. Okay.
that will be skipped. So remaining part of the loop will be skipped and it will continue.
Got it. Okay.
Next, after this, we have a concept known as iter tools. What it is means, import iter tools for I in iter tools count 10 comma 5. So it will iterate infinite number of times, and if you want to come out, you will write break when 50 is executed, break it, else print I and equals to save this thing. I'll give some space. So 10, 15, why? Because I have started from 10, increment by 5. And if I don't give any 5, it will increment by 1. Okay? So at 50 it's stopping. Suppose if I don't give this break, what will happen? If I say print I itself and run this thing. So what's happening here? It's printing infinite number of
Skip.
numbers, right? Because there is no coming out of it. When you want to come out of it, you need to use this break. Sorry. Py space, oh sorry, I didn't do it right. So break is important when you use this iter tool. Without that, it won't work, you can say. Okay?
Yeah, okay.
And if I do one thing, iter tools count is there, right? So a lot of methods will be there. Print a list of iter tools means iter tools repeated value we are trying to store. Let's say given odd number 14 and 15. Expected end of the file. Another variable. What's happening? 40 is getting repeated 15 times, right? So if you want to repeat a number, repeated number of times or any sentence, is it possible? Repeat. So how many times it's repeating the Java?
15 times.
15 times. So if you want to repeat something, then we can use this iter tools repeat. So a lot of functions will be there. This I'm showing you that there is an iter tools, and if you want to use it, you can use it according to the requirement. So next thing. We have seen the files concept, right? It's completed
Yeah.
files.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, files are complete.
Now, by using these files, I want to use a concept known as logging. What is logging means? Any idea, anyone? Have you ever used this logging concept? Because it's similar in any language. suppose you are at Amazon. You have you have done add product to cart. After adding uh, bill details, you have given the card details. Pay. Sometimes the transaction gets failed, right? Or success. So if it is failed, what is the reason? Is it the bank? Is it the Amazon server? Is it the card details? Or what is the reason because of that it failed? Sometimes in few things, if it gets succeed, but it won't show any particular success or failed status. IRCTC or the Book My Show app, it happens actually. So you call the customer care and ask what's the situation, what happened, and they'll explain you the situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, if I'm doing some transaction, if I'm doing some action, those actions can be stored in a file that's known as logging. Keeping a particular information in a particular file. So what we are trying to do, each and everything, we can keep it in a information. Okay. So what is logging? It's recommended to store the complete application flow. And even if we want to have an exception information to a file, then we can use this logging.
Okay.
So the best situation is for debugging, and these log files are used while performing the debugging. What is the problem? Where the problem occurred? What line of number? Okay. So next thing, we need to have this logging module. We need to import that thing. So what I'll do, I have to import the logging, and in this thing we have few particular stages or levels, you can say logging levels. So what are the logging levels, you can say? First is critical. Its value represents 50, and if it's a very serious problem that needs high attention, then we keep this particular level. Okay, that's a critical thing when high attention is required. Second thing, error. So what is error is doing? Represents a serious error in the program or the application, you can say. What application you have created, in that if a serious error is there, then this error is shown. And its value is 40. What in the sense? The levels. What level it is. Warning. We have third thing known as warning. Serious errors, it represents, and warning. So what's that warning will do? Represents a warning message like some caution is required. It's an alert for the programmer, like there might be a problem. Next, info just displays the message or important information. Debug, it's debugging information just stored in that. Okay. So next thing, now How to implement this logging? We'll create a file first. Because whatever the messages are there, that must be stored, right? So we'll create a file and we have to specify which level of messages we have to store. Okay. Then after that, we need to have a function that is basic config. It's a function of logging module. So you can say logging dot basic config. What it does, it takes the file name and it takes the level. Two things it takes. Okay. So it will create a file with the name and we can store that level, either warning or higher level messages to that file. So if you want to write the particular messages or use this thing in the file, what we do, we have a particular thing known as debug. Info, debug, message, whatever the message you want to write, info, message, warning, message. These are the methods. Error, message, and critical message. These are the things which we have. Okay. Let's write a program, then it will be clear for you, like how to keep it, what is the level. Suppose if I'm keeping the warning level, what happens? Import logging, and I need a particular logging configuration, right? So logging dot basic config, the file name I wanted. So file name I'll take. So what is it? File name log.txt. Whatever you want, you can have it. Log.txt. Level is there. What is that level? Logging dot warning, I'll say. So I created a file and the level of thing what we required. So I'll just say logging demo. Just for our understanding, we are printing it. That's it. Logging dot debug. This is debug. Logging dot info. Logging dot warning. Logging dot error. So the last thing will be logging dot critical. Save this thing. The file name yield is present inside the G drive or not, like G Python programs batch one. So is there any file name with that log? No. So there is no log.txt, right? What I'll do, run this part. I didn't save it. I've saved it, right? import logging, it's saying here logg cannot import template from string gpython string.py. Why there is error in string.py? I'm not calling string.py, right? A logging module is done, and I want to execute this thing. G like C space Python colons batch 1. Py space. I have yield.py. So logging module is getting executed now. So I have to see whether log example has been created or not. Just give me 2 minutes. Yeah, sorry for the delay. So what's happening here when I am executing it? Logging demo module has been printed because just I have printed that message. And in this thing, you can see warning, error, critical, warning, error, critical. Did I write error critical 2 times? Warning, it's written one, but the info thing is not getting displayed here. You can see info is not printing, the debug is not getting printed. Warning, error, critical, these are getting displayed, right? Because I have executed twice, I guess. So I'll just delete this file and it will be clear to you if I execute this again. Delete it. So I've deleted that thing and I'm executing again. So new file will be created. In this new file, what is have warning, error, and critical. Only these things are getting displayed. Okay. Because I've set that stage as warning. So warning, error, critical only are getting displayed. Suppose if I set that level as info, if I change the level, I'm just deleting the file again. So if I run this thing, open the file, info, warning, error, critical. Am I getting the debug? No, right?
Where the root is coming from?
Root it internally prints actually. We are not printing it. It just prints internally. What is the root cause? Like these are root cause of this particular thing. And if I set debug, debug is the best thing because it will execute all the things. Debug.
So which is the minimum level and maximum?
Debug is the maximum level, you can say. I'll just close this file, delete this file. It's printing all the things, right? Debug, info, warning, error, critical. And if you want to have again other states like critical is there.
So this uppercase is the keyword. I mean, we need to mention uppercase.
You can see here critical is only getting displayed, right? So this is a minimum level. Like if you give this, only the critical part will get executed. And for this thing, if I use say warning or critical is there, error is there, I'll delete the file. Yeah, deleted. It's giving error, right? If you want to have a level, you need to mention that keyword. This is not our defined, it's a predefined thing, right?
Yeah,
So
that's
error
right. Yeah, I'm just asking.
Yeah. Once you see, it's clear actually. Rather telling if it will be seen, it's good. Like error and critical are the two things it's displaying, right? So critical means only critical will get executed. It will skip all the remaining things. Debug means all the remaining things will be getting displayed, right?
This is going in the sequence just or like because you wrote everything below debug. So that's why it's printing everything else.
Let's do this thing. Error
If you
means
just
after
make a random.
let's check those things also. Like we have, I guess it might be the reason if they, no, right?
No. Okay.
It's not going in the sequence, it's just taking the error and critical things in the error message. Critical in the sense only critical. Debug means all. Info means debug will be skipped, everything will be getting executed. Warning in the sense debug and info will be skipped, the remaining parts are getting executed. Okay, we have seen all the things, right?
Yeah.
Next. If you want to have an exception information stored, how to store the exception information? Every time it's getting appended, right? Let's do one thing. Before the exception, I'll just say file mode. We usually have a file mode known as W, right? A W is there.
Yes.
critical is there. Again, if I run this thing, so what's happening? It's not appending that information, right?
Yes, yes, it is writing the new values always.
So that's a file mode also you can specify if you want to override the things or you want to have it appended. It's up to us actually. Okay. Next, if I don't specify any level, what will happen then?
Equal to 1, it will print all the values.
Yeah.
Let's delete it and execute again. It will print warning. Error, critical, warning. Only these three things are coming. Means this is warning level, right?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
So it takes warning as a default thing. Let's do one thing. Let's don't take the file itself. File name also I'm not taking. Entire thing I'm not taking. What's happening? It's getting displayed here, right?
Yes.
So it's getting executed in the console if I'm not giving any file name. If I give a file name, it gets displayed inside the file name, right? Understood?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do the exception part now. Like I want to store an exception value inside this. In that log, I'll just delete it. We'll have an exception program now. So import logging will be there. Logging dot basic config. File name equals to anything mylog.txt, my log file you can say. Level is there. What is that level? A logging.info is the level. Okay. And I can have file mode equals to write. So I just want to have a new information every time. So first logging.info, a new request came, and that request we have to process. Try x equals to int of enter first number and the same thing it will get execute here. And the second number. Just two numbers I have entered, and I want to find this particular print x by y. Except we have value error as message. I just want to give the value error or zero division error. Print what I can say message, and you can have except zero division error as message. Print this message. This is usual things. But now what I want to do, I have a exception function inside the logging. In that I can print it, like say logging dot exception message. Okay. And what I can write next logging info, we can write request processing completed. logging.info, but it won't get executed. You just have to write logging.info request completed. Again, between the transaction might be happening or what. I didn't specify the level. Yeah, small letters I'm using. Info is there. I'll just say number 10. Invalid literal for end with base 10, right? So my log will get executed. So what is getting printed? A new request came, error root cause because of invalid literal. Trace back, file name, line number, value, error, invalid literal. So there's the things getting displayed, right? Because it's value error. If it's 0, something is gone. What is that?
Can I see program also?
G is not defined actually. There was error with the logging module. Logging, it's correct only, right? Yeah, here logging information is there, right? G is not displayed. 10 0, division by 0. I have kept the write mode, that's the reason it's writing new. A new request came, 0 division error was the problem. Because of that, it didn't execute that thing. Right? Understood?
Yeah.
Suppose I don't use the exception here. I'll just use it as info itself. Let's open this file. Just it's printing the info, right? The file number, file name, the number, line number, it's not printing anything, right? So if you want all those things, you have to use the exception. Understood? Let's take the error part. Like I'll just say it as error now. It's printing the error itself, not the line number, file name. So if you want the file name and line number, you need to use the exception itself, right? Understood?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is a logging concept. Just whatever we perform in the application, that you can store it inside a log file. That's it. Okay. So it's mostly used in transactions or in all the applications in real time. Logging is used actually, like to keep a track what the user is doing step by step. We can have all those things.
We can give our own message also, right, for logging. When writing to the file.
Yes. In that, instead of printing the message, we can write our own message. Here, just what I'm taking from the message, I'm printing it here. I can write our own message also. Like I have written here, right? A new request came, the processing request completed.
Our own is this, we need to use a keyword info or
Yes.
error. Only info, right?
Info means it will give the information. Okay? So next thing, that's the end of Django, core and advanced model. We'll start the Django tomorrow, or before that, we'll just go through a couple of classes for SQL and HTML also. Okay?
Yeah, Rohit, you said you will explain about the MVC.
Yeah, that's the Django part actually.
Okay, MVC.
Once the Django starts, then you have to see MVC. Then MVT, what is MVT difference also I'll say. It will come entirely in Django itself.
Mhm.
So this is like a Python completed.
Yeah, core and advanced module. People say core and advanced, but it's simply having the concepts all combined. The list, tuple, what are the data types we have, byte arrays also we have seen, right?
Mhm. Can you
All those.
suggest like some website or somewhere where we can have like a small programming question that we will try to write for practice purpose?
Whatever the sites I've seen, they just have this a theoretical part. No website has directly.
Like a set of questions from a small program to big program, so that it will prompt us like, okay, try to.
Python bit questions is better actually. Bit questions in the sense, multiple choice questions will be there, right?
So Rohit, any suggestion for certification?
One thing, you can't cover all the things. The main important will be the modules what I've sent you, because they'll ask you from the modules and the functions actually anywhere if you have. So go through the modules thing. I've sent the link. Have you gone through that?
Not completely.
No.
That has A to Z things, right?
Yeah.
So what is this? This is floor division, right?
Yes, flow division.
If I use and what happens?
Okay.
So these questions are important because they usually give logically actually. What happens if I have this 1, 2, 3? I'm just calling the function and print count. It's taking 1, 2, 3 and printing the count. Okay. So if you see these bit questions, it will be easy. Like you can understand some different questions actually.
And you just ping this website.
Geeks for Geeks is there.
Gigs for Geeks. Yeah.
I'll keep few things then. I'll check it out, which is the best thing, which has different messages and all. Like the modules part I've kept, right? That's modules is from the documentation itself. You can't find that thing in any website or any tutorials, because no tutorial or website covers all the modules actually. Okay.
Okay.
So I'll keep few websites and all. And we'll start SQL or HTML first?
HTML will be good.
Anything is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay then. Right. Tomorrow we'll start then.